If you eat breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up, there's a good chance you are accidentally spiking your blood sugar higher than a candy bar would, and you don't even know it's happening. That first meal of the day, the one we've been told our whole lives is the most important, might actually be working against you. Not because breakfast itself is bad, but because of 5 common habits wrapped up inside it that quietly train your body to struggle with blood sugar control, year after year, until one day a lab result shows up and the doctor uses the word prediabetes, like it came out of nowhere. It didn't come out of nowhere. It came from breakfast. And today, we're going to walk through exactly which habits are doing the damage, why they matter more after 60 than at any other point in your life, and what you can start doing tomorrow morning instead. I'm Callum Ashwood, and if you're new here, this channel is all about helping you protect your independence as you age, using real science explained in plain English and natural strategies you can actually stick with. No fear-mongering, no miracle cures, just the truth about what's happening inside your body and what you can do about it. So if that sounds like your kind of channel, consider joining us by subscribing, because we put out new videos on exactly this kind of thing every week. Now let's talk about why breakfast matters so much when it comes to blood sugar, especially once you're past 60. Here's the piece almost nobody explains to you. When you sleep, your body naturally produces a bit more cortisol in the early morning hours to help wake you up. That's called the dawn effect, and it's completely normal. But cortisol also tells your liver to release stored sugar into your bloodstream, which means your blood sugar is already elevated before you've taken a single bite of food. Now, as we get older, our cells become a little less sensitive to insulin, the hormone that's supposed to usher that sugar out of the blood and into your muscles and organs where it can be used for energy. This is called insulin resistance, and it happens gradually, quietly, for most people starting somewhere in their 50s or 60s. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It's simply part of how the body changes with age, much like your hearing or your eyesight shifts over time. But it does mean that what you eat first thing in the morning has an outsized effect on your blood sugar for the rest of the day, because you're already starting from a slightly elevated point, and your body isn't clearing sugar from the blood as efficiently as it used to. So breakfast isn't just a meal. It's the first test your blood sugar system takes every single day. And these 5 habits are the ones most likely to make you fail that test, without you ever realizing it. Let's start with habit number 1. And this one surprises almost everyone. Drinking orange juice or any fruit juice with breakfast. I know. Juice has been marketed to us since we were kids as the healthy way to start the day. It's got vitamin C, it feels light and refreshing, and it doesn't feel like unhealthy food. But here's the problem. When you juice an orange, you strip away almost all of the fiber that would normally slow down how quickly that sugar hits your bloodstream. A whole orange has fiber that acts like a gentle brake pedal. Orange juice has almost none of that fiber left, which means you're essentially drinking concentrated sugar water that hits your system fast, like flooring the gas pedal on an empty road. 1 8-ounce glass of orange juice can contain more sugar than a glazed donut, and it enters your bloodstream even faster because there's no fat or protein alongside it to slow digestion. For someone whose insulin sensitivity has already started to decline, that's a recipe for a sharp spike followed by an equally sharp crash, which leaves you feeling shaky, foggy, and hungry again within an hour or two. The natural fix here isn't to swear off fruit, it's to eat the whole fruit instead of drinking it. An orange, an apple, a handful of berries, whole, with the fiber intact, gives you the same vitamins without sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster. If you truly love the ritual of a morning drink, try infusing water with citrus slices, or have a small glass of tomato juice instead, which has far less natural sugar. Habit number 2 is one that catches a lot of well-meaning folks off guard, and that's relying on cereal, even the ones marketed as heart-healthy or whole grain, as your main breakfast. Here's the thing about cereal boxes. The health claims on the front are often doing a lot of heavy lifting to distract you from the nutrition label on the back. Many popular cereals, even the bran-based or whole grain varieties, are highly processed, which means the grain has been broken down so much during manufacturing that your body digests it almost as fast as pure sugar. Add in the fact that most cereals have added sugar baked right into them, sometimes 12, 15, even 18 grams per serving, and you've got a bowl that behaves in your bloodstream a lot like a bowl of frosting. And let's be honest, most of us aren't measuring out that precise little serving size on the box. We're pouring until the bowl looks full, which can easily double or triple that sugar count before you've even added milk. The fix here is what I call the pairing principle. If you do enjoy cereal, choose one with the least ingredients possible, ideally 5 or fewer, and always pair it with a source of protein or healthy fat, like a spoonful of unsweetened Greek yogurt on the side, or a handful of walnuts. That pairing slows down digestion and blunts the sugar spike significantly. But if you're looking to make a real change, consider swapping cereal for steel-cut oats a few mornings a week. Steel-cut oats digest much more slowly than instant oatmeal or flaked cereal because the grain itself is left mostly intact, which means a gentler, steadier rise in blood sugar instead of a spike. Now let's talk about habit number 3. And this one is sneaky because it hides behind the word healthy. Eating breakfast alone, without any protein or fat on the plate. This shows up as things like a plain bagel, dry toast with jam, a muffin, or even just a bowl of fruit by itself. Here's the science behind why this matters so much. When you eat carbohydrates by themselves, with nothing to slow them down, your stomach empties that food into your small intestine quickly, and the sugar from those carbohydrates floods into your bloodstream all at once. Your pancreas then has to scramble to release a large burst of insulin to deal with it. Over time, asking your pancreas to produce these sudden large bursts, morning after morning, year after year, can contribute to the kind of insulin resistance we talked about earlier. But when you add protein or healthy fat to that same meal, something remarkable happens. Digestion slows down, the stomach empties more gradually, and the sugar from those same carbohydrates trickles into your bloodstream instead of flooding it. Studies looking at meal composition have consistently found that adding even a modest amount of protein, something like 2 eggs, or a serving of cottage cheese, or a spoonful of natural peanut butter, alongside carbohydrates can significantly blunt the blood sugar spike compared to eating those same carbohydrates alone. So the natural solution here isn't complicated. Before you eat those carbs, ask yourself, where's my protein or my healthy fat? A slice of whole grain toast becomes a completely different meal for your blood sugar when it's topped with avocado and a boiled egg instead of just jam. Oatmeal becomes gentler on your system with a spoonful of almond butter and some chia seeds stirred in. This one shift, simply never eating carbohydrates alone, is one of the most powerful and easiest changes you can make starting tomorrow morning. Habit number 4 is one that's become incredibly common, especially among folks who are trying to be extra health conscious, and that's the smoothie habit, specifically the kind loaded with multiple fruits, honey, and fruit juice as a base. I want to be clear here, smoothies aren't the enemy. A well-built smoothie can be a wonderful, nutrient-dense breakfast. But many of the smoothies people make at home, or order at smoothie shops, are essentially fruit sugar bombs dressed up in a healthy-sounding cup. When you blend 2 bananas, a cup of mango, a splash of orange juice, and a drizzle of honey, you're combining the sugar content of 4 or 5 pieces of fruit into a single drink that takes less than 2 minutes to consume. Compare that to eating those same fruits whole, which would take much longer and would naturally fill you up before you consumed that much sugar. Blending also breaks down some of the fiber structure, similar to what happens with juice, meaning that sugar hits your bloodstream faster than it would from whole fruit. For someone managing their blood sugar, a fruit-heavy smoothie first thing in the morning, on an already cortisol-elevated system, can send blood sugar climbing steeply. The fix isn't to give up smoothies, it's to rebuild them with blood sugar in mind. Use a base of unsweetened almond milk or plain Greek yogurt instead of juice. Add a scoop of protein powder or a spoonful of nut butter. Limit yourself to 1 serving of fruit, ideally something lower in sugar like berries, rather than tropical fruits like mango or pineapple. And toss in a handful of spinach or a tablespoon of ground flaxseed for extra fiber. That single tweak, thinking of your smoothie as a meal with protein and fiber rather than a fruit dessert in a cup, can make a dramatic difference in how your blood sugar responds. And now, habit number 5, which might be the most overlooked of them all, and that's the habit of skipping breakfast entirely, or delaying it for hours, thinking that you're doing your blood sugar a favor by eating less. I understand the logic here. If sugar is the problem, eating less food seems like it should help. But blood sugar doesn't work quite that simply, especially as we age. Remember that dawn effect we talked about earlier, where your liver releases stored sugar into your blood first thing in the morning. If you don't eat anything to help your body use that sugar properly, and instead go many hours without food, your liver often continues releasing more sugar to keep your energy up, since your body doesn't know when the next meal is coming. Then, when you finally do eat, often a large carbohydrate-heavy lunch, because you're now extremely hungry, your blood sugar can spike even higher than it would have if you'd eaten a balanced breakfast to begin with. Research on meal timing has found that skipping breakfast is associated with larger blood sugar swings later in the day for many people, particularly those who already have some degree of insulin resistance, which again becomes more common after 60. There's also the simple, practical reality that when we go too long without eating, we tend to make less careful food choices later, reaching for whatever is fast and satisfying rather than what's balanced. The natural solution here is not to force yourself to eat if you're truly not hungry. Everyone's rhythm is different, but rather to make sure that within a couple hours of waking, you're giving your body something small and balanced, even if it's just a boiled egg and a few almonds, or a small bowl of Greek yogurt with berries. You don't need a large meal. You need a signal to your body that food is available and it doesn't need to keep dumping sugar into your blood to compensate. Now, I want to take a moment here, because this next part matters. Everything we've talked about today is about natural everyday changes you can make, and they genuinely can help support healthy blood sugar levels over time. But they are not a replacement for medical care. If you've noticed symptoms like increased thirst, needing to urinate more often, unexplained fatigue, blurry vision, or wounds that seem to heal more slowly than they used to, please don't wait on those. Please make an appointment with your doctor and ask for a simple blood test, called an A1C, which shows your average blood sugar over the past 3 months. This is especially important if you have a family history of diabetes, or if you've been told in the past that your blood sugar is borderline. Catching things early gives you so many more options, and there is no shame whatsoever in needing that conversation with your doctor. Taking care of yourself, at any age, starts with information, not fear. So let's bring this all together, because I want you to walk away from this video with a clear, doable plan. Habit 1. Swap fruit juice for whole fruit. Habit 2. Never eat cereal alone. Pair it with protein, or better yet, choose steel-cut oats. Habit 3. Never eat carbohydrates by themselves. Always add a source of protein or healthy fat to slow that sugar release. Habit 4. Rebuild your smoothies with a protein base and limited fruit instead of a juice base loaded with multiple fruits. And habit 5. Don't skip breakfast entirely. Give your body a small, balanced signal within a couple hours of waking. None of these changes require you to give up breakfast, or to eat food that tastes like cardboard, or to spend a fortune on special products. They simply require a little more awareness of what's actually happening on your plate, and a few small swaps that, over weeks and months, can add up to a real difference in how you feel, how much energy you have, and how well your body is able to protect itself as you age. Here's what I want you to remember most from today. Your body is not working against you. It's simply asking for a little more support than it needed 20 or 30 years ago. And that's not a failure, that's just what it means to age with wisdom. Every single morning is a brand new chance to give your body exactly what it needs. And the fact that you're here, watching this, learning this, means you're already doing more for your long-term health than most people ever will. That's something to be proud of. Small, steady changes made consistently are how real, lasting health is built, one breakfast at a time. If this video helped you see your morning plate a little differently, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, because we've got so many more videos like this one coming, all designed to help you protect your health, your energy, and your independence for years to come. And I'd love to know which of these 5 habits surprised you the most, or which one are you planning to change first. Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you for spending this time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.